So also, so this is called universal proof. Also, we have something called Islamic proof, which is the Quranic teaching and the Prophet Muhammad teaching. That it makes it more stronger why there is God, who is Allah, and Islam is the truth. Not because I had a dream, it's called personal experience. Because I can break it down for you and show you why Islam is the truth and why Islam strengthens our belief, will give us more certainty that there is a creator who is Allah and should be worshipped.
You believe in God, right?
I believe in the creator, yeah, I believe in Allah, yeah, God, yeah. Yeah. Because when you don't believe in God, it's a big problem.
Yeah, but I feel like people just choose to believe just so they don't scared.
That's what people...
If they have nothing to believe in, then, you know, they're confused.
You drop in coffee. Yeah. That's one of the Richard Dawkins statements. He tried to say the reason people believe in God because they start getting scared of the environment or the nature. That is incorrect because Prophet Muhammad told us, which I'm going to give you outside proof, but Prophet Muhammad told us that every child is born to believe in the Creator, which is called Fitra. There was a study carried out in Oxford University, like you were doing a project, yeah, for school. So there was I can't remember their names now, but you can check it. They done projects, took them 3 years, and they spent 1.9 million on this project. They took children from different parts of the world. Children even from background, atheist background. They came to the conclusion, if you leave children without any prior education, they will grow up believing there's a creator and there's a purpose in life. So that rebuke and debunk the statement, God, the reason people believe in God because they're scared. That is not true. Believing in God is something which is common sense. It goes in line with our sound reasoning.
Yeah, but it's human nature to feed the unknown. It's human nature to feed the unknown.
To feed unknown. The fear unknown. Yeah, but I'm not saying that you cannot fear God. I mean, we worship Allah based upon fear and love because we fear when we know He's Almighty, you know. But I'm not talking about fearing unknown or not. But what I'm saying to you, there's universal proofs and the legislative proof there is a creator. My question to you, if I say to you, imagine you found an iPhone in the middle of nowhere, and I say to you that phone was made by randomness, would you accept that? Be honest. No, it's so organized and programmed. What about this beautiful creation? What about your own creation? That's what Allah said, look, but you know what? You know, people keep asking, show me miracle. Yeah? Your own eyes is a miracle. You want to ask for a miracle, but your own eyes is a miracle. Our eyes more complicated, more programmed, more organized, more connected, more sophisticated than a camera. That cannot come from randomness or by chance or blind matter. It's impossible, illogical, irrational. So my question to you as a smart young girl coming to the project here, which one makes sense? This universe was created by a creator who possesses absolute power, absolute knowledge, absolute wisdom, or by nothing?
I mean, there's also the Big Bang Theory.
I mean, Big Bang Theory, you talk about unknown. Big Bang Theory is from the unknown, from the unseen, from the past. I mean, Big Bang Theory, some Muslims try to use it to prove, because a Big Bang is a reaction. So who caused it? But I don't even believe in it. I don't believe in Big Bang.
Yeah, but everything's made out of science. Cells and stuff.
Everything is made of what?
Science.
Science is a topic, a subject. How is it made of science?
Like cells and everything like that. It's all connected to science.
No, science is
Like even us.
They just exist.
no science. No, science is to study something. Science doesn't make something.
I'm just talking about science in general. Like I don't have like that type of knowledge. I'm just saying.
No, you know why I'm speaking to you, because you know what's happening. You are repeating something you had in school, because it doesn't make any sense. You know what you're telling me? It's like I'm asking you, who made the phone? You tell me maths. Math is not an entity that possesses power. You understand what I'm saying? Science is what? Science is a topic, subject, is something that we study. Like study about universe is called science. There's cosmology, biology, sociology, and so on. It's called science. Science does not create. We create science to study and understand. Not science create us. Science is a topic, it's not entity. Like, imagine I said to you, what do they call it? Who made the car? Science of biology. That's the topic you study in schools.
That's not what I was trying to say.
Okay, what should I say by that? Who made the car? Engineering. So what should I say? Because I don't want to put words in your mouth.
It's fine.
Well, you feel pressure? No problem. I'll let you go, inshallah. But what I would advise you, to study. We have our channel on YouTube. You can check it out. This is called Das Da'wah, if you want to look at it. Then, because you said you came here to when you want to choose your own path.
Yeah, it's just.
That's what it's. Oh, it's not in reality. Just.
No. For the project.
Oh, just in theory.
I get to choose my own path.
Okay. So what do you mean by that? You're choosing your own path in what way? If you don't mind asking.
You have freedom to do anything you want with it, you know?
Yeah.
I can choose to talk about prison systems or like sociology or human rights and stuff. That's what I'm focusing on, human rights.
Okay, so you're talking
You have
about.
freedom of speech to say
Yeah.
anything you want.
No, we don't have freedom of speech. Absolute. There's no absolute.
It's basically freedom of speech.
No, there's no absolute freedom of speech. If I stand here and I will say things, I can get arrested. There is no absolute freedom of speech. There's not, sister.
But technically, you can still say anything you want.
No, I can't say.
Consequences.
Yeah, of course. Like one of the presidents of Africa said, he said, I will guarantee you freedom of speech, but I will not guarantee you freedom after speech.
There'll be consequences.
Yeah, which is a paradox. Because if I have freedom of speech, why not guarantee me freedom after speech?
The repercussions are.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because why? If we don't have absolute human rights, and like you talk about human rights, who should dictate what is human right, what is not?
Government, I guess.
Government.
Yeah.
So if the government said from human right to not speak, would that be right?
I mean,
But you just say the government dictates.
they have power over us. They make the rules.
No, but I'm saying it doesn't mean because the government dictates something to us, we have to follow them. That's what I call sheep mentality.
Yeah, I know.
You know? And that's what Islam comes with, that warning against sheep mentality. That Allah said, bring you proofs. We don't just blind follow because government. The reason I mentioned that, I'm not sure if you're aware with what happened with Qatar, in Qatar, about LGBTQ. In Muslim countries, we don't accept LGBTQ, okay? And they try to say that's from the human rights. But what about our human rights? If we say from our human rights to not accept LGBTQ, the LGBTQ, they say from the human right to accept them. So which human right should we follow? You see the contradiction? That's why, which human right should we follow? That's why we need the creator. When the creator gives us a right, it's absolute. But human beings, remember we have bias, we have evil desires, you know? Remember that. We have bias and we have evil desires. Like I said to one guy, I said, if I said to you, look, I feel I'm armless, I have no arm, I feel like it. Literally, I feel I was born armless, even though clearly you see I have an arm. Would you help me to cut off my arm if I said you help me? No. So what about people who are saying they feel they are a man, but they feel like a woman, and we go and pay money from the taxes money, people that are working hard, and go change everything the way they created, because they feel something else. That's what Allah in the Quran said. If the truth, absolute truth, follow people's desires, the heavens and the earth be corrupted. And we can observe that right now. You know, we can see that when we start following our desires. There's a man that raped 2 women. Have you heard about it? There's a man, have you heard about it? Yeah?
He killed himself.
No. He raped 2 women.
Oh, no.
He was going to the courts. When he was going to the courts for his sentence, he knew that they're going to put him in prison.
Oh, wait, no, I did hear about that.
So what he did, he identified himself as a woman. And now by law, you have to, if you don't accept him, you're a bigot.
Women in prison.
You have to put him in a woman in prison. For him is what? It's paradise, it's not prison. Yeah, that's what he's looking for. You see the danger, sister. You see a smart girl, coming here, are you by yourself? Coming here to study and do projects. I rate you for that. But also I will tell you to learn about Islam and understand Islam. Islam came with 5 things. And these 5 things, if we preserve them, we will have a good society, healthy society. First one, Islam came to preserve religion. What does that mean? It means in Islam, if you start worshiping a false god, that including our desires, then we'll have corruption. And I will demonstrate to you that. But when you worship the true God, Islam tells you to protect your intellect. That's why in Islam, alcohol and drugs is forbidden. Thirdly, Islam came to preserve wealth. That's why in Islam, interest and gambling is forbidden. Fourthly, Islam came to preserve marriage and families. That's why adultery and fornication is forbidden. Lastly, Islam came to preserve life. That's why harming yourself, killing innocent people, committing suicide is forbidden. These 5 things that Islam came to preserve, if we preserve them, we will have a good society. Alcohol destroys us, individually and collectively. You agree? Gambling, likewise. Gamble. Yes, and what he does to you, literally, I know stories, not one, not 10, over 50 stories. When you hear people, they start becoming addicted to gambling, they go steal from their children, they steal PlayStation 2 to go sell it, or PlayStation 5, I'm back, steal PlayStation 2, PlayStation 5, and sell it just to gamble. So gambling, you make likewise. What they call it interest. Interest is a new slavery. Interest make the rich richer, poor poorer. Likewise, fornication, adultery destroys societies. You have children, they don't know their parents and so on. And that grew up, children generally speaking, who they don't know their parents and so on, they grew up mentally not well, generally speaking. I'm not saying everyone, yes? There's exception, no doubt. So Islam, when it came to preserve these 5 things, put up barriers. However, there is some people benefit from these vices. Who are they? The people in power. They do benefit from gambling, interest, even though they know it's bad for us. So what they do, because they're rich, they're making money from the suffering of the people, they use their wealth to make Islam look bad, even though Islam is good for us individually and collectively. And the question we ask ourselves, how man that existed, Prophet Muhammad, who came with Islam, how man that existed 1,400 years ago, was able to come with this perfect way of life? The 5 necessities about protecting our intellect, health, and wealth, and so on, about worshiping the true God. And now, also I was going to mention to you, because we're talking about the government and power, those who are in power, when Islam comes to preserve these 5 things, he brought up barriers. That break down those barriers, there's a punishment. Because we human beings, we don't think ahead. We always want something quick, even though it's bad for us. But the creator of everything, he knows what is good for us in details, what is bad for us in details. So when you look at Islamic legislation and you compare it to human legislation, Islamic legislation, the example I give is like when you go to a doctor. You with me? You go to a doctor and you say, I have a pain. What doctor give you? Painkillers. What painkillers do? Does not treat the root of the problem. Painkillers just manage the symptoms and cover up the pain. But Islamic legislation, you okay, yeah? All right. All right. Islamic legislation deal with the problem from the roots. That's why in Islam we have something called what evil leads to evil, you have to stop it. No say, yeah, I know it leads to evil, but keep doing it. Like drink little alcohol is okay now. It's going to lead to greater evil. So how Prophet Muhammad came with his perfect way of life, he couldn't read and write, but we have these politicians who studied in the best universities around the world, they cannot resolve the problems we are facing. Because Prophet Muhammad, the legislation that he came with, والسلام, the legislation of Islam came from the Almighty. That's why it's perfect for us. That's why even you agree with it. Because it makes sense. You understand? You go, that's what I'm saying. So how man couldn't read and write? He never went to universities. He's coming with his perfect way of life. That strengthen our belief there is a creator. What do you think what I said so far about these 5 things? It makes sense?
No, I get it.
Yeah.
But it's just, it's hard. My sister's atheist and my mum's Christian.
Okay.
So they both have different opinions about me and stuff, and they both want me to believe 2 different things.
Yeah.
And obviously my sister believes in science more, like I was trying to tell you earlier.
Yeah.
That it's just, I don't know how to explain it.
I understand. You're like but let me tell you something. My wife, she's a revert to Islam. My wife, she became Muslim when she was 14. She became Muslim before I met her. Yes? And mashallah, my wife, she's well versed in science. Yes? And she became Muslim when she was 14. Her mother is atheist. Other part of her family Christians. Yes? Her stepfather is atheist. Okay? But alhamdulillah, she was smart enough to make a decision when she was 14. I'm not sure how old you are. When she was 14, to say, what, Islam makes sense to me. I'm not going to follow my mother or my sister. That's what Allah in the Quran always addressed.